My name's Josh and I'm a guitar teacher for South Lanarkshire Leisure and Culture, and today we're going to be learning the guitar chords for Fly Me to the Moon. It goes something like this. It's all quite jazzy chords in this one. Pretty much every chord is a bar chord, and there's a few unusual shapes that we'll go over and cover. A few of them will be quite familiar to you, but we'll cover each of the chords in the same depth anyway. So most of it's based around either the E major or minor bar shapes. So we're going to be pretty much barring all the frets with our first finger for this song. So the first chord is an A minor 7. So if you take the typical A minor bar shape in the 5th fret, to make it an A minor 7, all you're going to do is take off your pinky. Okay, so you're technically barring all of the 5th fret with your first finger, and then you're going to play the 7th fret in the A string. That will give you the A minor 7. Now, how this sort of song's written out in the tab here, the tab that I'm giving you, it's just it's pretty much 2 strums per bar, so each note lasts 2 beats. But how I was playing it there was slightly different. I'm going down, down, and then in the 4th beat, I'm just sort of like hitting the strings, muting them, just to give it a bit more feel. So you get. Okay, so that's just a quick thing to cover. So we'll try the rhythm first of all, just using that A minor 7 chord. So you're going to go down, down, and then on the 4th beat you're going to mute the strings on the way down and then back up. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's the rhythm we're after. It doesn't need to be, at first when you're learning it, you don't really need to put in the wee chucks at the end. You can just strum 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But it's just not quite as interesting. So after a while, try and get that wee chuck in after each of the chords. So anyway, the first chord is that A minor 7. You're going to strum that twice, put in the chuck, and then the next chord is the D minor 7. Now, the D minor 7, again, you're just barring the 5th fret. This time it's the A minor bar chord, shifted up to the 5th fret. So you don't need to bar the low E this time. I tend to not to, I just let go. Some people still keep it barred, but you don't play it anyway. So just start your bar from the 5th fret of the A string. So it's the D minor shape, or the A minor shape on the 5th fret to make a D minor. But to make it a D minor 7, we're going to just take our pinky off. Okay, so you get this D minor 7. Just a D minor shape, taking off your pinky. So very similar to the A minor shape, where you took off your pinky there to make it A minor 7. You're doing a D minor here, taking off your pinky to make it a D minor 7. And you're just going to play that twice. And then after that, we're going to go to a G major 7. 3rd fret, the E major bar shape. And you're just going to take your pinky off again to make it a major 7. Okay, so it's barring the 3rd fret, third finger and pinky on the 5th fret of the A and the D, and your middle finger on the 4th fret of the G string. But you're going to take off this pinky to make it a major 7. Okay? Then you're just going to play that twice. Then it goes to a C major 7. Now, a C major 7 is barring the 3rd fret again this time, but you're going to have your 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the D string. Then you're going to put your middle finger on the 4th fret of the G string, and your pinky is going to go on the 5th fret of the B string. The rest of the strings will be barred with your 1st finger. That will give you the C major 7 sound. Now that's just the A major 7 shape. The open A major 7 shape, shifted up and barred in the 3rd fret to make the C major 7. This time you're just going to play that chord once, and then it's going to go to a C7. So you've got your G major 7 twice, and then it's going to go to C major 7, and then you're going to take off this middle finger. Okay, so take off the middle finger from the 4th fret of the G string, and just like your 1st finger bar all the 3rd frets, and that makes it a C dominant 7. So you're going to go from C major 7 to C dominant 7. Okay, so that's the first time where you're not playing the same chord twice in a bar, but it's a really easy change because all you're doing, you've made that shape there, and you're just taking off one of your fingers. So far we've got the A minor 7 twice, the D minor 7 twice, G major 7 twice, and then C major 7 to C7. Okay, now the next chord is maybe one of the most unusual shapes, definitely the most unusual shape we've come across this far. It's a F major 7, but you're going to play it slightly differently, where you're going to put your 1st finger, you're not going to bar, it's the first chord, it's not a bar chord either. You're going to put your 1st finger on the 1st fret of the E string, then your 3rd finger is going to go in the 2nd fret of the D string, your pinky is going to go in the 2nd fret of the G string, and your 2nd finger is going to go in the 1st fret of the B string. And you're going to play that, but you're not going to hit this high E, and you're going to mute this A note here. So your 1st finger is just going to sort of hover over this string. So when you play it, it's muted. You get that sound. And you're just going to play the 5 strings. That one will mute, miss out the C. So it's really as if you're playing an A minor, but using your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th finger to play an A minor, and then you're going to take your free 1st finger and you're going to put that on the low F. Okay, so you'll play that twice, just muting that A, remember. Then it's going to go to this like B minor 7 flat 5 shape. It's a big wordy chord, but how we're going to do that, there's 2 ways you can do that. I like to play it using all 4 of my fingers. Some people like to bar it. I'll show you both ways, but it's just a matter of preference really. But I'll show you the way I like to do it first. So 1st finger goes in the 2nd fret of the A string on the B note. Then your 3rd finger goes on the 3rd fret of the D string. Then your 3rd finger goes on the 2nd fret of the G string, and your pinky goes on the 3rd fret of the B string. So you get this sort of crisscross shape, similar to a diminished chord shape, if you remember from the Godfather lesson. I think this B minor 7 flat 5 we might have done in the Godfather lesson as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was in there. But yeah, so anyway, 1st finger on the 1st fret of the B string, 3rd finger on the 1st fret of the G string, 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the G string, 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the D, and your pinky on the 3rd fret of the B string. Okay, and then it's just those 4 strings we're going to play. Same again, playing them twice. Now, the other way you can play that chord, if you want, is you could just bar the 2nd fret all with your 1st finger, and then with your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the D and your pinky in the 3rd fret of the B string, just play those 4 notes. So your first finger is actually barring these 2 notes here, the A string and the G string, the 2nd fret. So you could play it like that, or use each of your 4 fingers, whatever you prefer. I find it easier just to do that shape, but you could try the bar, whatever you prefer. Now, the bar might make sense to some people because the next chord after that is this E7 flat 9 shape, a really jazzy chord. Now, this is like almost like this shape reversed. So we're going to go from here where we're playing the 2nd, 3rd, 2nd, 3rd frets. This time we're going to slide up to the 6th and 7th frets, but instead of going 6, 7, 6, 7, it goes 7, 6, 7, 6. So you're essentially taking these 2 fingers, your 1st and 2nd finger, and shifting them down a fret, and you're taking your 3rd and 4th finger and shifting them up a fret, but you're doing that away over here on the 6th and 7th frets. So the chord is 3rd finger in the 7th fret, 1st finger in the 6th fret, pinky in the 7th fret, and then 2nd finger on the 6th fret. Okay, playing that chord twice. So you're going from this chord to this chord. Now, it might be easier for some people. I like playing it that way because that's the way I sort of learned these chords, but it might be easier to bar them. So barring this one, if you're going barring the 2nd fret, 3rd finger in the 3rd fret of the D, pinky in the 3rd fret of the B, play that note twice, that chord twice, and then just shift your hand up to the 6th fret, and then move these 2 fingers up a string, each of them, and just hitting those 4 notes. Be careful not to hit that one like that high string like I did there. That's one of the issues when you bar it. You might accidentally hit that note which you don't want to hit. That makes it quite dissonant. So yeah, so it's essentially the same shape, but you're moving these 2 fingers up so they're not on the D and the B string this time, they're on the A and the G string. Or you can play it like me, where you just have this shape here and then switch your fingers around for the E7 flat 9. Okay, so now we'll just move on to the next chords, and the next chords are actually pretty much a repeat of the first few we played anyway. So we're going to start with the A minor 7. Just play that twice again, then the D minor 7. Play that twice again, back to the G7. Play that twice again. Yeah, and then, so after your G7, this time you go back to the C major 7. But this time you're going to play it twice. You're not going to bother taking that middle finger off, so you're just going to play that twice. And then you're going to slide up, or not slide up, move up to E minor 7. So it's the same shape as your D minor 7, which you play in the bar in the 5th fret. It's the E minor 7, so this time we're going to play that shape barring the 7th fret. And then it just goes back to A minor 7. So after that, C major 7 twice. You're then going to play this E minor 7 once, and then the A minor 7 once. Okay, so yeah, after that C major 7 twice, you're going to play the E minor 7 once, and then the A minor 7 once. Then it goes back again to the D minor 7, playing that twice, back to the G7, the same pattern as before, twice in that. Back to the C major 7, twice there. And then after that, C major 7 twice, we're going to go to the B minor 7 flat 5. The chord we've done before, the unusual shape. There's 2 ways to play that, whichever one you like. Play that, and then we're going to go up to E7. So back up to where the E minor 7 is, but instead of having your middle finger on the 8th fret of the B string, we're going to put our pinky there instead on the 9th fret of the B string. So we'll get this E7 chord. So we're going from this B minor 7 flat 5 to the E7. So barring the 7th fret, 3rd finger on the 9th fret of the D string and your pinky on the 9th fret of the B string. Okay? So when you get to that chord, that's really the first section. That's the chord progression for the first section. The next part essentially starts the progression again, and it's the exact same thing until the last few chords. So I'll just play through what we've covered so far. Again, it's just a case of like going through the chords, learning them nice and slowly, just getting used to the shapes, because as I said, a few of the shapes are pretty tricky. Once you've got them down, then you can start adding in like the instead of just strumming each chord individually like this, you can start adding in the and again, all I'm doing there is just playing the chords as usual, strumming them twice, and then just on the 4th beat, just a down up on the muted strings. So that whole progression to where we are sounds like this. We now just return to the A minor 7. So yeah, so after this E7, it's back to the A minor 7, twice there, D minor 7, same progression to the G7, the C major 7 again, followed by the C dominant 7, up to this F major 7 shape, the one that's like the A minor, play that twice, then to the B minor 7 flat 5, this is all the same as before, to the E7 flat 9, to A minor, to A7, again, back to D minor 7, to G7, and now this time is where it changes for this second chord progression. We got from the G7, we're now going to go up to the E minor 7, so we've played that chord before, but this time we're going to play it twice. Then we go to the A minor 7 to A7. So it's just the major bar chord shape, the same as the G7. Major bar chord shape, take your pinky off, bar in the 5th fret, play that twice. To D7, to G7 again, twice. And then we're going to play this C6. This is the chord that I didn't quite get to the intro of this video, because it is quite tricky. You're going to put your, it's not quite a bar chord, you're going to put your middle finger on the 8th fret of the low E string. Then you're going to put your first finger on the 7th fret of the D string. So you're going to miss the A string, this one gets muted again. Then your pinky's going to go on the 9th fret of the G string. And your 3rd finger is going to go on the 8th fret of the B string. Okay, and you get this sort of really jazzy sounding chord to end it off. So, middle finger on the 8th fret of the E, first finger on the 7th fret of the D, pinky on the 9th fret of the G, and then your 3rd finger on the 8th fret of the B. And you're just going to hit those 4 strings, you're not going to hit this high E or this A, where this A note's going to be muted again, much like the F major 7 chord, and you're just going to strum that and let that ring out. Now, this shape is really tricky to get to. I've not played this song in a wee while, so as you see, I didn't quite get to it after playing the intro to this lesson, but like with some practice you get it. It's just a really unusual chord that you only really find in jazz music or jazz guitar. So yeah, D minor 7 to G7 twice, into this C6 chord to finish it off. Now, if you are really struggling to get that chord, you could maybe finish with like a C major 7 or even just a C to finish it. But try and get that chord down because it's something different and something unusual, and it's a bit of a workout for your fingers. But yeah, that's all there is to it. There's really only 2 sections. A lot of the chords repeat, but they are quite tricky bar chords, a lot of jazz chords in there. So it's good to know them, and they'll really help you improve your bar chord playing. But that's all there is for this lesson, and I'll see you in the next video for the next one. Cheers.